Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Open Mic Gripe with Jay Van Rye and Jeffrey, the place where serious and silly complaints come to chat.
Open Mic Gripe is a weekly podcast dedicated to hearing your gripes, grievances, and opinions on any and all topics.
Every episode, Jeffrey and I will have an opportunity to get to the bottom of the issues which are lingering on the back of your mind, and engage in order to create constructive conversation using a combination of lighthearted comedy and well-formed logic.
If you feel like we are wrong, inappropriate, or biased, then call in, email, or tweet and let your voice be heard. You can email us at openmicgripe@gmail.com or tweet to us at openmicgripe.
And find us on our Facebook page. Of course, search for Open Mic Gripe and check out our Open Mic Gripe live on 95.9 on Thursdays from 6 to 7. That's Central Time. Also, check us out on Radio Free Fargo. Stream it there.
So jump on in and gripe on the open mic with Jay Van Rye and Jeffrey. And we're back.
Yes, from last week.
We departed for a week.
Yes, we did.
Today on today,
You make that sound like we're coming out of a commercial. You're just like, and we're back.
if you're just tuning in, this
It's
is
the opening of the episode.
So today's episode, we've got two guests in the
That's
studio.
true.
Two guests.
Is this the first time we've had two guests then at the same time?
I want to say no.
I think it is, though.
Interesting.
This is going to be great.
Yes, this is brand new.
This is wonderful. So, I'd like to introduce two members of the hard rock band Anomic.
It's like we can. It
I don't even know how to describe the band.
I just gotta say, it sounds like we're
Metal?
NPR right now. It's just like,
Yeah.
and now we would like to introduce the hard rock band.
You know that's my voice. Anyway, we've got members Chip and Jay from
No, Chip and Mr. S.
Mr. S.
Jeez, you can't even get a guest name right?
Oh, well, you're
It'll
Jay.
get confusing with two J's.
Mr. S.
Yeah, it's Jay, so it's Mr. S.
Mr. S and Chip from the
everybody.
band Anomic. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Anomic.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
First, before we get started, we always start the show with a hypothetical question.
Yep.
And we want to get your juices flowing. We
Oh
want
my
to-
god, why? I don't know why. Just when you say it, it sounds really creepy.
Well, thank you.
Insinuating.
That's really sweet. So I want to ask the question. Mm-hmm. If you could be any video game character,
Ooh.
I want to know which one and why.
Sonic,
Sonic the
Yeah.
Hedgehog. Why?
because he's chasing the dollar bills.
Is he?
He's just speeding fast on the coins.
He gets the rings.
Yep.
Okay, all right. So you're into the rings.
I don't know.
So you like the
Sonic was
2D
good,
or 3D Sonic?
You know, I'm gonna change though. I'm gonna be the guy from Grand Theft Auto.
Which guy from Grand Theft Auto?
Oh boy,
It's
now you're
always-
going deep.
It's always a guy from
A
Grand Theft Auto.
character, not
Yeah.
a vague concept.
Yeah.
Like Grand Theft Auto 3?
Right.
The nameless
Yeah,
guy?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Not Vice City.
No, it was Tony.
Vice was good. Vice was good.
Vice was good.
I liked 3 though.
Wasn't Tony from 3?
Tony was from... Yeah, Tony was from 3.
They all had names.
Okay, all right. They're real people. They've got names.
They're people too.
Mr.
They're
S.
fictional.
Chip doesn't know it now, but he would totally be Trevor from Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, I could go with
I haven't
that.
played it yet.
Oh, really?
No,
oh,
I
okay.
should.
Okay, some people just want to burn the world.
Yeah,
You know, see the world burn? All right. Mr. S?
that's a hard question, especially with like the vast amount of video games I've played.
Mhm.
But could always make it nice and simple and just say I'd be Link because I wouldn't have to say a word, and everybody just does everything for me and gives me gifts all the time.
I don't think that's how that works. You definitely have to go and mow the grass every once in a while and
Hit chickens. And,
hit chickens. Yeah. Throw some pottery around.
yeah. You find money in pottery though.
You
If I
do,
was,
but
if I was
if you
Link, I could just
are you even willing to consider the people who own that pottery? You just
Link never
ransack
does.
people's houses?
Link never does.
Exactly.
He has no empathy. He's like the perfect sociopath.
Well, in a time where we need a sociopath to rescue the princess, Link's the man. All right.
Man.
All right. Jay?
I think I would be an NPC.
An NPC?
Yep.
No, you've got to name something specific.
No, then that way, pick any of them. How about, okay,
Enough of your vagaries, sir.
I'd be the guy who gets the arrow in the knee.
in every
Wounded knee.
Is it a wounded
Bethesda
knee?
game.
Wounded
No,
knee.
it's an arrow.
Yeah,
It's an
he's
arrow.
like-
It's a
knee.
metaphor,
That was a
though.
horrible Indian joke.
But there was
No.
one game that actually had that.
Which
that
game,
guy.
Jay?
I don't remember. But it's that guy. That would be the guy I would be, and then that way my entire life I can just be like, well, I was going to do this, but I got an arrow in the knee, and that's just my entire life.
He's giving you a metaphor. Every time that NPC is giving you a metaphor. It's a metaphor for marriage.
Is it?
Yes.
Wh-
It's a
really?
metaphor for marriage. Yep. I was going to be an adventurer, but then I took an arrow to the knee.
So I picked the guy. I picked out of everything. I picked the computer character that can't do anything because he's married.
Yes.
I think that is American life.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man.
Just wait till you lose it all.
What a fucking American.
Yeah. Oh well, that's what I'm stuck with, I guess.
Oh, jeez. I don't know.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's. I probably have to say something like Lara Croft.
You would be Lara.
You've got a
Just
mansion.
because you want to check yourself out in the mirror. That's why you want to be.
You
Lara
know,
Croft.
that's not even
I'm
the
changing
point.
my answer because you said that. I'm going to say Samus. I would
Samus?
say
Yep,
Samus,
I was
All
thinking
right,
Metroid,
all right.
but
She's got a mansion and a butler that she can lock in the fridge for great lengths of time without any damage to himself. And she basically just desecrates ancient sites for profit. I like it.
nice. That's what you'd want to do. You
No
can do that
regard for-
right now.
I really can.
Well, besides you don't have a butler, but
I
Or
also
you could
don't-
be the butler, Jay.
no. There we go. I'll be the butler, and you can just lock me in the
You're
fridge.
basically immortal, though. You can't die.
Nice. I
Well,
like that idea.
what would you expect? It's the greatest punishment if you have an arrow in the knee.
Well, let's get on and let's meet these guys. Huh? What do you think?
All right. Well, I'd actually love it if they'd be willing to introduce themselves.
All right, that works for me.
So, guys, who are you?
Chip, I was born and raised in Jamestown, North Dakota. Moved to Fargo in 2004. Been here ever since.
Nice.
Had a couple bands that didn't really see the light a day. Always been one after the next. Until Anomic.
Until Anomic. Okay. All right. And Mr. S.
My name is Jay Stevenson. I grew up on Fort Berthold Indian Reservation. Moved to Fargo, North Dakota in 2009. And the first band I started was the first incarnation of Anomic, was Ride the Cliche. It was this crappy little grunge band.
Mm-hmm.
We played a few shows, a lot of shows at the Nestor. And then that eventually kind of fell apart. But in the end of that, rose the ashes of Anomic.
So, did you call yourselves a crappy little grunge band
Yes.
at the time? Okay.
That's the words grunge and crappy kind of go hand in hand. So
Okay.
Gotcha.
What brought you into metal?
I wouldn't even say it was really intentional. It was mainly playing a baritone guitar, so everything's in B standard, so it sounds heavier than it actually is. And as for the semi screams that are going on, I used to be in a hardcore band. I was a vocalist for that for a while, and that just kind of crossed over.
No. Well, sorry. Keep going.
that was it.
And I just want to point out, just so people know, this is the whole band.
Yeah, two people.
Two
Piece
people.
in it.
I heard
get
you
grief
guys
for
on
it all the
stage.
time.
Huh?
We get grief for it all the time. You know, you said you wanted to gripe about something.
Yeah.
I did figure out something to gripe about on
Excellent.
the show.
Please.
We get judged on the 2-piece all the time.
Really?
Yeah, you know, they're like, but you guys are a 2-piece. Yep, we sure are. But
Shouldn't that make it more impressive, though, with the sound that you guys put out? Like,
it's a 50-50. Like, people will come up and they're like, unbelievable, you guys are 2-piece. And we just heard, you know, a
Full
full
band.
sound. Yeah. And then we'll just get judged right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
but you guys are just a two-piece.
So what does that mean, just a two-piece? I mean, we're not really music guys, so help explain that to us.
Full disclosure, we
If you-
respect musicians because of what we can't do.
If you're a bar owner and you see two guys walking in with a guitar and a drum, you're like, oh, great, it's going to be the sound of a guitar and a drum.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
it's just going to be like a little guitar through a little amp, and they're not expecting to hear a full band sound. They're not expecting to hear bass. They're not expecting to hear, vocal effects or anything like that. They're expecting to hear the worst imaginable thing.
They're probably thinking 3.5-minute songs. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is going to be...
Oh, more like
Yeah.
almost
I'm
like
strumming chords and he's playing
power
drums.
chord, like my kind of like punk me, like power chords and 2-minute songs.
Straight
and,
verse chorus, I would have,
Gotcha.
I heard more sound coming from the stage when I heard these guys than I've heard from 5-member bands.
Yeah.
And
I was really impressed.
It was extremely impressive. I didn't realize that all of that was not just pre-recorded, but it was actually just coming from
Yeah, it was live.
you two.
Right.
We've actually talked about the idea of creating pre-recorded stuff, but the thing is,
But we're lazy.
well, no, actually, I've actually written a lot of the stuff on the program Reason, where I just wrote weird effects and stuff to go underneath everything, kind of almost like digital effects. They sound nice with it, but when you add so many layers, it actually takes away from the fullness of the band. You listen to a band that has like
it's
12.
a two-piece.
Yeah, well, you listen to a band that has 12 members, and every little bit of that is just buried underneath each other. So you're constantly trying to tweak all the EQs and set everything up, and it's certain sounds are just going to get buried sonically. And now when we're playing it live, we have our amp, or I have my amp set up so they actually complement what's going on with the drums and vocals and all of that. So a lot of is tone setting, EQ setting, and making it sound more full than it actually is.
So how do you guys make such vibrant sound with two
People?
people? I mean, so do you? I noticed, I'm trying to instruments.
Okay,
I guess.
yeah, I get you.
How do you? I noticed on stage that you recorded something and then you allowed it to cycle. How does this work?
Oh, there's the looper.
Yes.
That'd be the looper effect. It's just running through the bass right now. We actually don't use that very often. That's usually when we're playing a full night at a bar and have to cover for, I'm playing a guitar solo over it and he's just playing drums to it. But the looper is very finicky in the sense that right when I click the button, if I'm a millisecond off, you can hear it in the loop, and it's constantly looping. So it has to be spot on. So even if it's a little bit off, it'll throw him off on drums, and
Gotcha.
yeah. Then it's just trying to save the beat, and it just turns into a
Okay. So what are some of your musical inspirations for the band?
Well, Chip's already gonna know what I'm gonna say off the bat. The biggest one was Queens of the Stone Age. That's my favorite band of all time, and I try not to push so much of it onto the sound that we're writing because I kind of want to do our own thing. So it's more of a mashup of all the things I like and all the things Chip's like. Yeah.
I really like catchy beats, but at the same time,
Like Korean
bombastic.
pop?
Nope. There's got to be.
I
a
like
groove
this.
in there.
I like catchy music.
But there's a hard groove in there, and you're feeling
Yeah.
you're feeling the downbeat on the one. I see that coming across. I mean, these drums are going crazy, and everyone's following in on the downbeat still. So there's a groove, and sometimes a dance beat.
A dance beat. Okay.
There might be one.
Hence Disco Chip.
Okay. Disco
Yep,
Chip.
looking pretty sharp in your leisure suit here.
Yeah,
Baby
for
blue.
radio.
Chip, this is the second time I've gotten the pleasure to meet Chip, and he's had a vibrant wardrobe, I have to say. It suits you, though, huh?
That's
Get it?
Okay.
Puns. Puns for the win.
And so you guys are pretty intense on stage as well. I mean, you're working with metal, so obviously you're going to have to get people hyped up in the crowd.
I mean, is that how you describe yourself? What type of music would you say you guys play?
I don't like using the vague term alternative rock, but
Okay.
it is alternative rock. It's
Okay.
just kind of this blend of hard rock, metal.
I suppose it'd
and-
be post rock.
Yeah, it's post rock on some parts. and
Metal's. I don't like calling it metal.
See,
Okay.
and that's why I mentioned that, because I didn't really
It
get.
is, but it isn't, and it's
Yeah.
it's tough. But I would say it's definitely post rock, hard rock.
If it's
Hard rock
any kind of
seems
metal,
so
it's
old to title anything on anymore, but that's why everyone goes with that post rock.
You'll have to excuse me from my narrow point of view. There's simply pop music and I hate my father music. And
we'd be more of that I hate my father music.
Okay.
With the sometimes we'll throw the pop music beat in there.
all right,
Well,
all
see,
right.
and that's the odd thing because we're as hard as ever, but then we will have let's call it a dance beat edge to it with that's hitting on 4/4, and so we will sound almost like three different bands if you stick around if we can get a lengthier set list to play than
Sure.
45 minutes. You will hear three different areas of rock in there.
Well, that's kind of the holy grail, isn't it? If you
Yeah.
think about what Queen could do, what
Yeah.
Yeah, you
we're
just gotta give us
trying
enough
for
time.
that. Yeah. There's still songs that need to be written to link all those songs together, but it's hard to sell ourselves on a 45-minute to 30-minute set because we have such a wide variety of music.
Right.
So we're throwing in a rock song with a metal song with something in between that, and it's hard to go from one song to the next without just feeling abrupt. And a lot of our selling point is feel. Obviously, the intensity, selling ourselves with
What
that.
the rest of the bands are on the lineup too.
We try and match them a little more.
Oh, well, that's
We
definitely a
actually
good
can-
skill. Yeah.
We do have like two different selections on. Is it going to be more of, the radio crowd, or is
Right.
it going to be a full on black? They're coming for some hard rock kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I have to get to the core of rock psychology.
Yes.
I have noticed a general trend of introverts playing rock. Why do you think rock music attracts introverted people?
Well, I'm going to go out and state my favorite motto about music in general is music is one of two things to me that I always hear. It's either celebration or self-expression.
Okay.
And sometimes you get a blend of the two, but it's mainly pointing towards one side or the other. And I feel like a lot of introverts use it as self-expression. You can really hear a lot of like math rock, for example. A lot of people can't get into that. But once somebody gets it out there, they bring in their crowd, and it's a lot of introverts or people who feel the same way actually linked together through that music. And music is like our universal form of communication. You can feel what the song is feeling. You can sense what somebody feels while they're writing the song. So I think a lot of introverts use it as a way of communication, probably.
What are you communicating?
Kind of how you feel that day. Could be anything from, I'm so angry that I burnt the toast this morning and had to eat it because I didn't have enough money to buy a new, loaf of bread, to, I have a lot of, mental issues that I'm dealing with, or stress. I use it as a form of therapy.
Okay. So
Music
you're
is-
saying that if you became a successful, wealthy musician, that you would lose a lot of the sources of music?
Probably. I would write different music, I think.
Right.
I think it's where I'm at in life is what helps me write. Music, it's mainly what I'm feeling that day. If I'm stressed out, if I'm not, you'll get a different song every time.
Very fair.
Well, it's very true with comedy too. Like a lot of it is just using it as therapy and getting some of that out there. And even though it's funny that you can write a joke and it will kill the one time because you're really feeling it, and then you try to tell that same joke a different night and you don't have all those feelings behind it, and it will fall flat.
Yep.
So,
I agree. We've noticed it on this podcast. If we're just in the right mood, we can nail it. And the moment that neither of our hearts are in it, it's just
well, I
falls
mean,
flat.
I nail it every time, no matter what. But
When I sing "Baby Got Back" on karaoke, it's the same way. Sometimes I might nail it. Sometimes maybe not.
I like it.
That's art is a form of passion and creation through passion. So if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. And
Right.
It won't be delivered the same way. Music, whether it be music, painting, whether it be comedy, those are all theater.
do you guys have kind of like a pre-show ritual, something to kind of get you pumped up for the show, punching each other in the face or something?
No, we don't.
Just go up there. We're just half the time we could
Just
go the
snaps
whole
in.
day without talking. We load in gear.
Uh-huh.
We see each other real quick. We're like, all right, man, what's up, man? Hey, ready to load? So, and then we load in like 15 minutes. We're
It's
pretty
just
fast.
quiet. We're talking a few subjects of the day.
I chuckle at drummers that sit there on their drum pads for 40 minutes easy before the set.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of funny.
Wow.
That's my gripe on the Gripe Radio.
Yeah. All right, let's gripe about drummers.
Yes, let's get on to this. I've been talking enough. Chip can talk about.
I don't know. Just saying.
So, all right.
He doesn't want to
He
step
wants
on
to
any
bite his
toes.
tongue.
Yeah, I have something I hope you guys can gripe about a little bit. I want to know, what is your ideal crowd?
Those guys up
All
front.
women.
This is I'm agree with Chip. That's what I would want. Even with my horrible jokes, I would like all women, and just see how that goes over.
Jay has a repertoire which consists mostly of offending women through his jokes.
But I don't think that's true.
Everyone likes to pick on scabs.
I think he's topping you today.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good. I want to. Maybe it is one of those days where I'm not on my game and I'm being
Chip's
showing
just in
up
the
here.
zone. His suit is fueling him.
I think he is. See,
No, come
I don't
on.
know. See, that's what's happening. I'm wearing the Anomic shirt, and it's sucking my power, and it's giving it to Chip. I didn't realize that.
Is this what you guys been planning?
Yes.
You're going to
That's
disseminate
evil.
Anomic shirts around the country so that you can slowly
Zap powers?
zap power from
That's
everyone?
how. That's how we're gonna find immortality is through other people. Immortality. We're
Through
gonna write
worship.
the best songs. Yeah,
through worship, through everybody wearing your shirts, listening to music, worshiping you. It empowers you.
Now that is a
vicariously
rock
through each
opera
other.
I would watch.
Yeah, there you
The
go.
Anomic Cult.
The Anomic Cult.
The
a
rise
rock
of the
opera.
Anomic Cult.
I could see these guys leading a rock opera.
Oh, hell yes.
Frontmen for a rock opera? Are you kidding me?
And everybody's expecting this huge orchestra behind us, and it's just the two of us.
You
on
know, of
stage.
course, as people come in, everybody would come in like a Rocky Horror Picture Show. Everybody
Yeah.
would come in with their Anomic shirts on, and they would feed into the show. You know, they would be
They'd have their
standing
hands up,
with you,
their heads
hands up,
down.
right there, and you would visibly be feeding on it.
Yeah. We'd be glowing. Actually. We'd be glowing. We'd be flying by the end of the show.
And the finale is you just explode.
Yeah.
That's
That would
too
be-
much. It was too much
Well,
worship, too much power.
That's how
That's
heroes
why they
become
do them
legends.
all
We just
rainbows.
explode.
There's the subtext, or the subtitle for your
How
rock
heroes
opera,
become-
How Heroes Become Legends.
Yes.
There you go. Wow, that's
I like
awesome.
this.
You guys
I
will
think
get some credit for it.
We've got it recorded.
We'll get
front
some
row
tickets. We'll
Yeah,
get some
you
tickets.
front row tickets.
So your ideal audience. I know you said all women. Why do you think women are more
No,
fun
that
at
was
rock
actually
shows?
a joke.
I don't want to assume.
I want a room of 1,000 drunk women. I think that would be the most ideal
That'd be
audience.
a lot of bottles being thrown at
It
you.
would, I was going to say it would quickly descend into
Some
chaos.
hair would be pulled, I'm sure.
Oh man. Okay. I mean, so when you're at these rock shows, like when we saw you guys, there was quite a diversity in age. There was quite a diversity in, I might even say, background, where people came from. But everybody was interested in hearing a good rock show. But you guys were also playing with other bands. So how would you draw the right crowds in?
Find a band with a following. That's what every band hopes for.
The best shows are like when there's like 4 bands and then someone like puts us up for the night. That's my favorite audience.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
I'd have to
Yeah.
agree with
Get-
that.
When you're
It's-
on the road?
Yeah, on
Yeah,
the
I get
road.
like 3-4 bands up on the bill, and then exactly like everyone's bouncing off a fan base, and then someone puts us up on the road. That'd be great. That's my
And you a lot of times with like those 4 or 5 bands on the bill, you know, there'll be some kind of diversity in the genres. Even, you know, there'll be like maybe 2 metal bands together, and then there'll be a random hip hop group in there, and like an acoustic act, and us, you know. And so we'll actually bring in fans that would have never heard our music before, and then they end up liking the band. And it's kind of neat to introduce people into the music. You know, they go, "Oh, I've never heard that music. I listen to Korn," you know. And it's like, I've
Yeah.
heard some stuff on the radio here and there, but
When you book this band called Monowolf, they like to clear the room out though, because they're like totally talented musicians, and they like plug stuff into some metal and they hit it with drumsticks.
Oh, correction though. That was a subset of Mono Wolf apparently called Concrete Skirt. Were they the same
Concrete
guys?
Skirt.
They always
I
come up
haven't
with the
noticed that.
greatest names, though. Like, Mono Wolf is a really cool name. Concrete Skirt is a pretty cool name.
So which
But-
one was banging on the metal concrete skirt then?
You know what?
Do I have this confused?
This is cynical, Jeffrey, but they were both just noise.
Yeah.
Hey, well, but you know, thanks.
Oh no, we really appreciate.
we want to
their
thank them for
efforts,
coming
yeah.
on out for the KRFF
They came out and
fundraiser.
helped
and scaring
fundraise.
half of the room out.
I think
for a
okay.
minimal time, for a
I mean,
little bit.
let's okay.
I've never actually been in
I
this.
think this can be an honest point, like regardless of what the music sounded
Yeah.
like. If you light some weird smelling incense, I think that I had to leave for that.
No, they lit
Just
sage.
sage.
I was upset. I was like, you hipster white boys don't even know what it means to light sage. And I was just...
If that was music, anyone can do it.
Okay, let me put it this way. I found an article online today that talked about semen scented cologne. Now,
Okay, where is this going?
just hear me out. Now, there is a subset of people out there who are like, you know what? What the fuck? Let's give this a try. I wonder if this actually appeals to people.
This goes back
and
to...
they would try that. And I think there was a certain number of people who were up close next to the stage for these bands.
I heard a lot of people wanted to hear Concrete Skirt. I should say that.
They
A lot
wanted
of
to
people were
hear
talking
something
about
unique.
that.
It was like everyone said they had never seen anything like that before, and neither have I.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, the
And
entire
I never
time,
want to again.
I couldn't tell if they were
could
warming
play
up
the
or if that
same
was their
song
set.
twice, if they could actually play it the same way twice,
Which part? The
might
part where they
clap.
threw
I
pieces
might
of metal
clap.
at the audience, or the part where they were bumping into people?
Exactly. You know.
This goes back to that age-old question. We spent so long asking if we could rather than if we should.
So wait, actually, if you don't mind, what does the lighting of sage mean? Can you enlighten me on that?
Well, usually it's for smudging.
Native American
Yeah, it's
ritual,
a-
right?
And smudging
It's
is
cleansing, you know.
Okay.
It's purging of bad spirits and negativity, really.
Oh, is that why everybody left? It was actually working?
Yeah, yeah.
Like anybody
They were
who wouldn't-
angry, so they left. All that negativity left
Oh,
the
that-
room.
Well, hey, then
And then all their fans stayed.
it worked for them.
Yeah.
All right, maybe they do know what they're doing with it.
That's how you can tell if you have a fan base. You light some sage and they're out there.
It was very unique, but I mean, you have to admit it was a little bit hard following you guys.
I would say, yeah,
I don't know. There's some stuff where, okay, Go Murphy, for example, they have their whole completely different thing that's on a whole nother level than us because it has a different feel to it. So putting them before or after us wouldn't really make a difference to the crowd because it wouldn't really bring them down or bring them up between either band. It's just a different feel altogether. So I think that like the whole following us thing, it's really what your band's bringing to the stage.
Gotcha.
You know, it'll change the feel, yes, but it doesn't mean it necessarily has to go like down a bar or up.
You're allowed to embrace your own awesomeness. Soak it up.
I do it all the time, man. It's okay.
I'll accept our awesomeness when we actually have a fan base.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Until then, I don't think that it's awesome enough.
When the time comes.
Is
when
there
the time
is there
comes.
anything that you're doing? In fact, why don't you promote yourself right now? Is there anything that you're doing so people can find your music? And
We have an all ages show this Saturday, October 24th.
What does
at
that
the
mean,
New
an all
Direction.
ages show?
It means, you know, instead of like going to a bar and it's a 21 plus show, or sometimes at the aquarium, very rarely it's an 18 plus show. Where,
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
yeah,
in
that's
a while.
they stopped really doing those.
Yeah.
So all ages, you know, you can bring everything from your infant child to whatever you want. I would suggest bringing earplugs though, because the New Direction gets pretty loud in there. It's a concrete room, most of it.
Anomic is a great cure for what was it? Balls. What is that crap called that makes babies cry? Colic.
Oh, colicky babies.
Yes. Anomic
It's
is
also
a
a
wonderful
great cure for
colic.
hearing.
Yeah.
I admit I did wear headphones. All right,
So what-
earplugs.
So what did you say? That was October 24th?
Yep.
At New Direction, or what time?
It'll be doors open at 6:30.
6:30. All right. And how about if people can't go to that show and they want to check you out? Do you guys have a Facebook page or?
Yes, we're on Facebook. Facebook.com/Anomic Band.
Spell it.
ANOMICBAND.
All right.
Felt like I was at the spelling bee again.
We got someone working on a website for us lately. Supposedly we might get a website called Anomic.Rocks.
Okay.
Anomic.Rocks.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. So we're nice.
Anomic
.rocks.
dot
Yeah,
rocks.
because
That's
apparently
cool.
.rocks is like a new thing. It's a new handle, so
Okay.
we're hopping on that
Yeah,
train right away.
that'd be
We have
great.
that domain.
Yeah,
We tried
who will forget that,
Anomic.com,
right?
but some guy in Bosnia has it and won't release it to us. So
Yeah.
Wait, I know a Bosnian. I might be able to help you out.
it's probably part
What,
of
Jay,
his
they all
family
know
tree.
each other?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bosnians in this area are related.
Yeah,
so.
that is true. So let me change the subject a little bit. I want to ask you guys, since you were talking about the effects of money on your own performance, especially, do you support piracy?
Oh, if it's for our music, of course. If it's for another band, I always feel bad for them if they're really, trying that. Like, that's their thing. They're trying to sell CDs and they think that's like the only way they can make money. Then I feel bad for those guys. But
Come record us and just do quality recordings if you're gonna do it though.
Yeah.
Don't put your freaking cell phone recording of us on YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't do it justice
depending on the
at
cell
all.
phone. If you got like a Nexus 6 or whatever, it
No.
might, be different, but
Just make it quality.
Yeah. No, I get that. There's a lot of times where comics get real upset because, especially at open mics, you'll record them and if they see anybody recording them, because they don't want them to put up something that they're just working on. It would be like
Yeah.
going to your band practice and recording you and loading that and putting that up on the internet and then being like, "Yep, this is what they do all the time."
Yeah.
I don't like when people do that to comics. I don't mind if they do it to us because most of the time our writing process will end up writing a really cool part sometimes and forget
Right.
it unless
Okay.
somebody's there to record it. That's a different story, but I understand how people
Yeah.
would be upset with that.
But I
definitely.
think so right now you just want, in terms of like the piracy question, you just want people to hear you.
Yeah, we're just trying to get out there. We're trying to push ourselves as much as we can. I mean, we could really be ramming it down people's throats, but that's just as bad as not doing it at all, too.
If they really
Right.
want something, we sell quality stuff too. We don't sell that crap.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, our CD, our friend Adam Lean did it up at MSUM, and he did a hell of a job. Like, he
Awesome.
spent so long, so many little details that I think a lot of people will, never know how much work he put into it.
Right.
Yeah. I had proposed one time that the next time we do a pack of CDs, if we weren't so rushed on time this last time around, I was just going to put his face on the CD. Instead of the Anomic CD, it'll just be like Anomic, but Adam Lean's picture in the background. Or somewhere on the CD
On
itself.
the back when you pull the CD out.
Yeah, and then it's just his face.
Just
Yeah,
right
just
behind
his
the
face.
CD. That'd be perfect.
I think it'll be, yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Because I felt bad. I was just writing up the thank you list, and it just made it a list. Didn't put anything, like special thanks to Adam Lean and stuff. And I kind of felt bad about that whole thing because it was just so rushed. We were just wanting to get the CD out, and
Yeah.
yeah, that was definitely
Even like our merchandise and stuff. I mean, we pick up Dickies fabric and the nice cotton. It's not. When you go see Aerosmith or Rob Zombie or who knows, maybe you go to these arena rock shows and they come out, you can like practically see through these shirts that they're trying
cheap quality.
Right.
to shove you down
Right.
too for $45. So
How is the quality of the shirt, Jay?
Feels good.
oh,
Feels
yeah,
good?
he's
Feels
rocking
Feels
it.
good.
Jay is
It
wearing
feels
it.
like it's sucking the energy out of me. It sure does.
It's actually an energy conduit.
Yes, it's actually made from stem cells.
And rare alien crystals,
Yes.
which concentrate the energy
We
towards
crush
the
them
best.
down and
Yes.
we blend them in with the
Filter through
stem
dynamics.
cells.
There
And
I
then,
feel it sucking.
we use 3D printers with stem cells to make those
Fucking at me.
shirts.
That's cool. Oh, their logo is that an old gas mask?
Yep. We had a friend make that for us, and then the logo
But
on
this
the
is,
back.
this is the main logo.
Yeah.
What
I
does
know
the
you
main
guys can
logo
all
represent?
See that.
It was.
It's great. For
I just kind of
radio.
wanted to use something where I took the first and last letter of it, and then I put the little minus sign because enemy means diversion from labor society. It's
Okay.
like lawlessness, I guess, would be another way to put it.
And what was the inspiration of that name?
It was a one-word name that sounded really cool. That's actually what really started it. I was going through lists of names that I like, or words that I liked, and it wasn't even using a thesaurus. I was just going through words I liked until I found Anomic or Enemy.
so if you started at the beginning, I'm not surprised it starts with A, because you probably got to Anomic and we're like, oh god, that's far enough. This is great.
Well, I wasn't going through like I wasn't going through the dictionary or anything, trying to find word by word. I was just looking up. I think I just spent long enough looking up different words and different meanings. Yeah, page 8. I got to page 8 and I just gave up. And I was like, we're settling on enemy. And then I was like, oh man, there's so many. Enemy doesn't quite sound right because everybody's going to think I'm saying anime. And I was just like, no.
I had this band one time called Crowboy, and they called us Crowboys all the time. And I almost lost it one time. And it happened like 3 times over. And that was it. And I went and I changed it to a Crow's Omen.
Crow's Omen.
Much better.
Well, I gotta say, Anomic is exactly the type of name that I would expect to hear on the radio.
Yeah, it's just like subtle enough. Big thing I wanted to really focus on was I really liked Muse, the name. It's a block, and you can look at it and it's just a really short, quick name and people can remember it.
Well, and that's the thing, what everyone does too is they always ask us, so what does it really mean? So it intrigues it, like people are...
Yeah, it's a word that you don't see a lot either. Right. And that, it's like our genre. It's not very common. It's not a very commonly used genre, I guess. And
it describes your band so well, my understanding of what the word means describes your band kind of being on the outskirts and doing your own thing.
And and it works for the whole outsider crowd too.
Right.
Like you were talking about introverts having trouble and using music, and then there's extroverts. We're kind of just the outsiders who are also extroverts, I guess.
Yeah.
Because we try and hang out with the crowd and talk with everybody and make everything personable about us.
Come on to podcasts.
Yeah, come on to podcasts.
I've come to the realization finally that we don't need a bassist, so we're just gonna rock that 2-piece thing.
It's just quirky enough that it works for us.
Right.
I think if anyone heard your sound on the radio and then saw you in person and realized you were only 2-piece, that would be surprising.
Right. Well, and I don't want to. I'm actually not that big into music. We've mentioned that, but I actually am a fan of Local H. I mean, that was actually one band that I did enjoy. That was the first thing I thought of. Of course, have you guys heard that before?
Yes.
Local H. Yeah. It's
copacetic and.
Yep. So that was just like, oh, like Local H. That's the first thing that I thought of. And then I'm like, oh, not like Local H.
They were a little happier than what we were doing.
There are so many great names for bands out there, though, words that are not commonly used. One of my favorite words in the English language to say is mellifluous, which means sweet and melodic to listen to. That would be a name for a band. That's as far as I'm aware.
Probably a name for a band.
It's probably a name for a band already?
Just look it up and then put band right next to it, and you'll probably find it somewhere. It's probably like a terrible band in somebody's basement that has like one really crappy recording, but it's just enough to make them a band.
All right.
Stained Glass Mary would be
kicks it off.
Metal name.
Okay.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of great names for bands out there. I keep saying series of words and that should be a band.
Oh, everybody's done. That's such a hack thing now. Everybody's doing that. Everybody says, "Oh, that'd be a good name for a band." That's all the time. Everybody does that. That's not like your thing, man.
No one makes it happen. No one makes it happen.
Yeah, you gotta be the one who makes it happen.
There you
have to start these bands.
You have to start 50 different bands just for the name.
You find a bunch of people who can play instruments. Like, you don't have to know how to play instruments. You just force them all together. You force them to name their band that. You force them.
You play one song.
It's like
get a
concentration camps, but they're band
Talk
camps.
a bunch of bullshit the whole time.
And we make them play music.
Band camps are concentration camps. I'm just going to go and say that right
now. Man, there must have been a lot of sex in concentration camps then, huh?
No kidding.
A lot of phallic objects in insertion.
You guys, I've been thinking a lot about a gripe that I've had in my mind.
And for just before you say this, I do want to apologize because, of course, you guys helped us out with our KRFF fundraiser.
Oh, yeah.
And I did get your name wrong. And I've been thinking about that, and I feel like I said Iconic.
We haven't heard that one yet. That one was a first.
That's a first. We usually get like anemic or atomic.
Atomic.
I think I said.
I was
iconic.
thinking anemic.
Yeah.
I think I was trying to think of iconic, and I said iconic.
You're like iconic.
So I do have to apologize. Sorry about that.
Jeez, Jay.
And I'm bringing it up again. I don't know why.
No,
I could have
no.
just let it go.
Well, they gave
leave
us
it in the
they gave
past.
us they gave us 1 day without any information to prepare for that show. So you did a great job considering. But
Thanks.
no, these bands are all I've heard. All of them I've heard for the first time. So it was interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Great place to start too with Anomic.
And I like Trees at Sea a lot, so
Yeah.
it's really fun playing
They
with
got
those
a good
guys.
energy.
Yeah, and then sound, like I've seen them once before at Geo's. They played a show with Trees at Sea, actually. It was the first time I saw them, and I like sound a lot. They went on a hiatus, kind of a hiatus. I couldn't really get a straight answer out of them, but that was a band I dig.
Yeah,
I dig.
they got a good sound.
So who's that random English guy who's living here?
That's the guy from Sound, as
Yeah.
I refer to him.
Oh yeah, I was gonna go up and talk with him more just so I could hear his voice, but I never ended up going around and meeting
Well,
him.
he's friends with our friend Rod Hadlin.
We are
Oh,
totally.
I know
mutual
Rod. He does
friends.
comedy, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just curious why there's an Englishman living in Fargo.
school.
Yeah, just
School?
Yeah, he
college,
came for
college
school.
program. I'm
Is
sure.
it like a foreign exchange system? You gotta expand your horizons, learn
Well,
a new
maybe-
language.
I could ask him. Maybe his family moved here.
They really did have a good sound,
Yeah,
though.
and then
He's probably
good boys.
probably wants to get into farming. Had to come here.
yeah.
So I have to ask you, do you guys enjoy vicarious thrills?
Vicarious thrills.
I'm not talking about Michael Jackson impersonators.
No.
I'm a Tool fan.
Tool fan. No, vicarious thrills. Vicarious, of course, is I wrote a little bit of this down here. Vicarious implies an experience which conveys emotion through someone else's action, right?
Oh, I
And-
thought you were talking about a band. That's why
No.
I was kind of hesitant. Vicarious is like watching somebody jump off a building.
Oh, Vicarious Thrills. That
Or-
should
Yeah,
be a
I
band.
get-
That should be
I
a band
get-
name.
I have certain friends just because of that. I'm like, you're the dumbest, crazy son of a bitch I know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna hang out with you.
Yeah.
All,
I have Chip for
crazy. Yeah, right.
So you guys make friends based on their activity.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
a little.
One
yeah,
of-
you
one of
gotta
my-
have that
Yeah.
crazy friend.
Well,
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
say that's completely normal. I was, we feel vicarious emotions every time a friend or relative does something heroic or embarrassing. It's always been important empathy building tool in society. You know,
has.
between our friends, between our family, etc. But I just started. I don't know. I feel this is needed. I need to gripe about this because
Okay.
Get it out.
vicarious thrills have become a staple in our society, and typically not from the people we know. People today are keen on taking credit for the actions of their arbitrarily preferred sports team, feel the struggles of their favorite TV celebrities, and pretend to tweet what they read from the rich and the famous as if it was in part meant for them, This is just something that keeps
There's
popping
magazines
into
that make billions off of that.
billions
Yeah.
simply by selling people the stories that make them feel good about someone else's life.
Sure.
Or playing into the primal instinct that people are kind of cattle herd animals.
Pop culture a lot.
So we like to follow something and live through that. I get the vicariousness of it. And you notice it a lot today, too, because people are constantly just regurgitating some
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
somebody else has already lived.
But we
Yeah.
rarely ever ask each other if this is a good thing for the individual.
Oh, I ask it all the time.
Good.
I yell about it all the time.
Everyone needs escapism in life, but for many it becomes a source of adventure and excitement that people had typically need to reach out for themselves in the past. I mean, in the past you would need some level of excitement. You would just go out and do it yourself, or experience it with your friends or family.
Okay, but now we're talking about the crazy friend. Like when I went to Thailand, like my crazy friend and I went to Thailand. And although we were both out experiencing that,
Yeah.
I still got to live vicariously through him because he's the one who was climbing on top of these houses and falling through the clay tiles on the top of the house.
But I would argue that because of your
How did
direct
he get out? Did he
association
get
with
out the
them.
front door?
Yeah.
Was it? Well, it was breaking, and then he jumped from the roof and landed on the cement, and I had to go up, and I was like, sir, do you speak English?
Jesus.
I was like, and trying to get him out of there. He'd cut his hand. He was yeah.
Well, but
Probably
that's-
broke some ribs.
That is, by your direct association, that's something that you directly benefit from as well. Mm-hmm. However, if you watch that happen on TV and you talk to somebody about it,
Right.
is that the same effect psychologically? I don't think so.
No.
No.
No, and I wouldn't say that.
Depending on the person, though. Some people
Right.
do live through TV.
But why are we not questioning them? Why are we not poking and prodding them? I mean, why don't we question everyone?
Let them live their
You
lives,
don't wanna
man.
poke fat people.
I don't, because we don't live in bubbles. That's what I'm saying, though, is our friends' dependence on celebrity sports team or soap operas, Game of Thrones, that people just
Oh,
never
I'm about
get-
to start watching that. I'm probably going to really enjoy that.
It's a fantasy soap opera.
So?
It's Dungeons Master Guide / porno.
It's been a while since I got into
like
a
it.
series.
If a TV studio wanted to follow your life around with a camera and capture the excitement of your day-to-day life, would anyone watch it? If the answer is no, it may be because you have not taken the opportunity or allowed for any unpredictability. In the safest, most predictable, and secure time humanity has ever lived, we still hesitate to take risks which we venerate others for on an everyday basis.
Is this Open Mic Gripe soapbox?
So be it.
The key
I can
unlocked.
think of a million things to say. We can either choose to go down the road of what I feel about it, what I think conspiracy-wise about it. You know, we could go down a million of different things. People sedated are easier to control than people running amok.
Naturally.
true.
But
Yeah.
it's not the media is not some extension of the government trying to placate us with,
Are you
with
sure?
images.
Yeah,
Yes!
I'm on board with this right now. I think that
If that was the
TV,
government's
movies-
control, then they would have legalized weed a long time ago and just encouraged society to smoke
TV's
up.
TV's, movies, music. I can't think of anything that could more placate. No, that's not the right
Placate.
word.
That's the word.
See?
Netflix could
Placate
possibly
somebody.
be the worst numbing drug
Yeah.
Exactly.
in modern
Why do you
market.
need to legalize weed when you can just put somebody in front of a TV?
And by the way, they've gotten so smart. Instead, if you've updated your Netflix, if you sit on something for a few seconds, it just plays it.
Oh,
Yeah.
No more of this, just like looking at it, reading the description, and then moving on. And it's it's so brilliant because there's so many times where you sit there and you're like, there's nothing on. But this you look at something, and if you look too long, it just plays it. And you know how many times I've just been like, well, I'm watching this now.
yeah.
You just set
Yeah.
the controller down
There's
and
an
Yeah.
watch it
Yeah.
go.
It really is my drug of choice by far of anything like.
Netflix is a bad one. People get sucked into that one on binges like you would not believe.
Oh yeah.
Right, but I'll put on Netflix in the background while I'm doing something constructive.
But you're not a big TV guy,
No, I'm
Jeffrey.
not.
Like so for
No,
me,
because
who's somebody like that likes TV.
I can't handle more than an hour or two a day because
No.
I'm constantly reminded that I'm not actually doing or creating something.
See, you have the passion to actually change things. That's not something a lot of people have.
Well, why not though? Why aren't we encouraging this passion? Why aren't we
We've
gently
spent so
pushing people?
long creating kids with ADHD in the last 10 to 20 years.
The best activists I have met in my life have ADHD. Those are the people who we can rely on to keep mentally engaged. Maybe not focus very well, but
Yeah.
certainly they're the most active.
But just as well, those are the same people. I'm not saying that person in general, but
Right.
the ADHD crowd, or as we've been calling it, ADHD, those are the same kids now who are sucked into their phone and can't maintain a
Right.
conversation and connect with people around them.
Again,
They're the same-
I don't have necessarily a problem with that,
percentage
though.
for sure. Yeah.
I mean, we are
Yeah.
already cyborgs, something that I've often said. We are using machines as an extension of our own senses. And we have a better connectivity, a better access to information than any humans before us.
But we'd rather spend more time on Reddit and Imager than we would anywhere else.
4chan.
Yeah,
well,
4chan.
In the
pay for
same
it.
way, I mean, society is changing, and we are more moral. We are more empathic than we have been in the
Well,
past.
I don't know. From
We-
personal experience, I don't believe that. I feel like the newer generation is less empathetic. They're more like just
And
what's the word I'm looking for?
I could see you losing empathy too by putting that device between them and other people.
The only
Like,
thing we're
why
missing
would you?
is facial expressions, eye contact. We're missing that human interaction, that nonverbal. That's what's missing. But as a whole, this connection to digital devices has, without a doubt, allowed us to be more aware of what is possible in human atrocities.
Yes, this is true.
But
Well, with everything going on with police brutality
Yeah.
in terms of
we're more aware.
African Americans, because
always
of
been
the fact
going
that
on.
everybody
Yeah.
has a camera now and can film that. That's why. I mean, this is not a new thing. This has been going on for a long time, and it's just now that everybody is able to see it and go, "Oh no, that really is bad."
Right.
But this goes back to your vicarious living
Yeah.
that you've been talking about. These are the same people who will look at this atrocity, feel bad about, people in third world countries, but not actually do anything to help them.
Right.
Well, that's actually made my job a lot easier because when I need to stand up and do something about it, they're less likely to fight me, declaring that racism doesn't exist anymore,
Yeah.
or these crimes aren't happening, or there's no civil war. In fact, they'll just say, "We're aware of it. Now do something about it," and that just makes everyone's ability to enable activists, international organizations, etc., much better. But to agree with your point, though, I was yesterday. I went to the supermarket and I went to the cash register. From the moment I walked up to the cash register to the moment I left, I realized she had never once made eye contact with me, never once. And she asked me in the most robotic voice, "Did you find everything you were looking for?" I was like, "Yep." End of conversation. Payment. I left, and I'm thinking, like, how can I suggest to the manager?
Hey, did you look the guy in the eye when you were buying a squash and he goes, "Is that an acorn?" And you go, "No, it's a fucking strawberry." Did that guy look you in the eye?
Bet your ass, yeah. Yeah, that was a very fun interaction. No, but to finish my little rant here. So vicarious thrills have now become an industry that we were talking about with the magazines and the media. With fantasy sports teams, keeping up with the Kardashians, and my favorite source of gripes, YouTube stars.
There's a lot of
But
guys
you know you
trying
wanna
to
be
keep
one.
up with the Kardashians, and they're laying in
I
hospital
couldn't
beds
imagine
and
a less
changing
consequential
cutting their dicks
family.
off, and
What's that?
don't try and keep up with the Kardashians.
Because they'll be cutting their
If you guys, do you guys?
I don't have
any-
that. You're right. I
On
can't.
cocaine binges.
I don't have enough money to keep up with the Kardashians.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you guys have favorite YouTube stars?
Can't say I watch YouTube enough for that.
Don't.
I mean, I do, but they're science shows.
Yeah.
There's stuff that educate you.
I'd rather just listen to a guy rant for about an hour on YouTube about, something like philosophical than I would just watching a
Right.
guy like punch himself in the face repeatedly.
Well, do you guys know who PewDiePie is?
No.
Haven't heard that one.
PewDiePie is a Swedish YouTube star who makes videos of himself playing video games with commentary.
Oh yeah, just like everybody else.
Yeah, but
every-
he's like the original.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if he's the original.
He
but I
might
do
not even
know-
be the
Wouldn't that
original,
just be
but
the
he's
angry video game nerd guy who actually has DVDs?
Well, he does. I don't know. It's not funny at all to me, but it's
Okay.
all like comedic
Well, wait,
commentary
yeah.
on video
Does
games.
he do the goofy voices? too?
Yeah, yeah.
Science fiction,
Honestly-
3000 video game style.
This guy.
Science
kind
theater.
of. Well, yeah,
It was
I don't
reported what
even
his
know if it's
income
like
was
that, but-
from last year. Do you have any guess how much money he makes
Off of YouTube.
off of YouTube?
$90,000.
$12 million a year. $12 million a year playing fucking video games and commenting on it.
What do you tell? But who cares? Like one day these guys are gonna be. It might not be 12 million, but one of these days these guys are gonna be making
Sure.
$500,000.
Oh yeah.
You know,
We can plug
playing
Chips-
stadiums.
Give Chips Clips Lawn Care a call. Fargo Moorhead, fall cleanup.
Woo!
We got snow removal coming up as well.
That's
Call
awesome.
us for all your rate questions. 701-541-3261. ChipsClipsLawnCare.com. Fargo Moorhead and Lakes area.
Help him become a millionaire.
Yeah.
Do you blast Anomic when you're playing when you're
I'm totally in the zone. I
Okay.
I listen to the machine and the pitch and
With his one
you're
good ear.
in tune with your
Yeah.
machines. Just how you're in tune with your drums on stage, you're in tune with your machines when
Right.
you're
Right.
dealing with the
I take
yard.
work pretty serious.
Except when they break down, then you just
Oh
start
my God,
yelling
I
at
lose-
them.
I lose it.
So again, that was Chips Clips.
Chips Clips.
All right, and what was the phone number again? Just
701-541-3261. Check us out at chipsclipslawncare.com as well. Also find us on Facebook.
I like it.
nice.
I'm
Fall
gonna.
cleanup, snow removal coming up soon.
I'll be giving you a call.
Do it.
All right. No, but I don't know.
Or if you need to book Anomic.
If you need to book Anomic, that's right. So thank you guys so much for being on the show today. I'm hoping that we'll get a clip from one of your shows so that we can play it on the
awesome.
podcast here.
I think it's called a song.
If you want to divide into neat, succinct units like songs, okay.
Have we dove into those recordings that we did with that? I just think we took some live. Where was that live shot we took? Video wise,
that was out in Eugene, Oregon. They're still on your computer. I still need to get those.
See that again.
That Eugene show.
Forget Eugene.
Yeah, Eugene was one of our worst experiences. We went from awesome time in Seattle to Eugene.
What happened?
Just the bar we were at. Everybody was just. Best way I could say is just standoffish.
Big time.
Big.
I felt it right away, and then he coined it right away. He's like, man, I think we got treated a little bit too good in Seattle. He's like, you know, and like people, when we pulled out, people left. And then when I get inside, I can't get served by the bartender. And then not to mention that after the local band played, these people have no idea what kind of music we actually play. But he's like, stick around for the 2 bands from North Dakota. And these people are like, oh my God, dude, let's get out of here. You know?
Are you kidding? That would be the time that I would be like, interesting.
Yeah,
right?
but you're not these douchebags from.
Yeah,
I'm
not a
Eugene.
hipster. I don't have
the band was like
or...
trying to be nice to us too, like with the stick around. They were trying to do that.
Everyone went out for a cigarette after that band was done, and
never came back.
Nobody came back. Half of them rode in on bicycles. Good for them. Good for them. But I do hear that there's like 11 a.m. bus cancel, like routes quit at 11. Someone told me that's like a kind of an inside thing. Like if you're to go play Portland or something, don't play after 11.
We asked the band if one of the bands could get like just a 30-minute spot between them and the opening band.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we traveled a long way to get here. Mm-hmm. Just give us something like 30 minutes that we'll be on and off the stage in minutes. With we had 2 bands with us, and we both wanted to play. We get up there, and it was just.
We just wanted to bump them an hour later.
Yeah.
Keep your crowd around, and
give them a taste of the music.
The bar is going to get more off of it, and see, all of those people left the bar too. So as a bar owner, you'd think that would be the lucrative decision would be to keep your main draw around,
I think we know what it's like to have audiences that aren't really treating us well.
Well, we also have to know which audiences understand our humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same thing with music too. I mean, we've had the same issue where we go to a show and we're like, we're definitely not the band that should be playing.
There's acquired taste.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this plenty of times, but I say the same thing with comedy. I see, at least with like music, if somebody was like, hey, let's go see Anomic, they'd be like, oh, what type of music are they? But if somebody said, hey, let's go see a comic, nobody asked. They're just like, oh, a comic, let's just go see that. And that's so wide a variety of what you could end up seeing.
Talent's there, and I'll definitely stick around, even if it is a punk band. I might stick around with the talent.
Even if it's a punk band.
Even if it's a punk band.
It's just there's so many in the area.
But when there's a guy that's banging on a piece of metal and he's tweaking a knob that he'll never be able to tweak twice the same way, I tend to walk away from that.
There's just an amp blaring white noise at you.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, guys. Thank you again for being on the show. Once again, we've got... Go ahead and...
We got Mr. S and Chip from Anomic.
Yeah.
Of course.
Thanks for having us, fellas.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thanks so much. Thanks for helping us out with the fundraiser as well.
We really appreciate the help keeping Radio Free Fargo on the air.
Check out Anomic on Reverb Nation. We got our Facebook page, Bandcamp as well.
Excellent.
Most of the time, just search Anomic Band and it'll pop up for you. New website coming soon.
Anomic.Rocks.
Anomic.Rocks.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Keep rocking, guys, and we'll hopefully see you back on the show again.
Till next time.
Excellent. So, of course, Jeffrey and I would like to thank you for joining us and listening to Open Mic Gripe, the place where serious and silly complaints come to chat.
We will be bringing you new episodes every week, and we encourage everyone to participate by sending your gripes, grievances, and opinions to openmicgripe@gmail.com or Facebook message us. Go ahead and just look for Open Mic Gripe.
We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you didn't, check us out next week when we will be discussing your gripe.
the king.